What up, players? It's Wall Boss Tay up in this mud. Today we're gonna finish our Black Knight. This is what it looks like all done up. You can see we brought the bone back up. We brought the foliage and the vines, made them look nice and bright. So it pops off of the armor. Oh, you know, I just noticed I need to do a little bit more verdigris on the armor here. So the colors you're gonna need, let's go through them right now. For the verdigris, I used Hawk Turquoise, but if you want, you can use Sotek Green. Either will work to give it that nice verdigris color. For the bone, I got my Rakarth Flesh. For the purple cloth, I've got some serious purple, dude. And I've also got some Gene Stealer purple just for the fine, super fine highlights. We go back over the red cloth with Mephiston Red. And that is really it, I believe. So this is the quality you get, and I also did the rest of the squad. So let me show you the rest of the guys, the rest of the four. Here is the banner of the standard of the Black Knights unit, which I kind of painted up the same way. I'm going to show you how I did the purple. Sorry about the clutter. So I also did the same kind of coloring with the bone and the verdigris. The musician you've already seen, he was my test model. And then here is the champion. So same techniques across the board. Notice how the Talarn Flesh, or Talarn Sand, that's another thing you need. You need Talarn Sand for the foliage, the vines, and yeah. So all together, this is how they look. Line them up and show them to you. Zoom in a bit. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you're able to get something out of this. And I think altogether the unit looks pretty nice. The banner, that purple accent color just pops really nicely. The reds look really nice, and I think the blacks actually do match now that I see them all together. I think because they're Black Knights, the blacks aren't too dark, and we gave it some nice highlights with the Stegodon scale green, so they look very cohesive, I believe, and they should work really nicely. They should look really nicely on the table, is also what I'm saying. So thanks for watching. Hope you're able to get some good tips and hints out of this video, and stay tuned for the next one. Alright, we are ready to finish our Black Knight guy. So your next step is going to be to paint up some the ivy and the branches and all the vines and stuff. So we're going to use Steel Legion Drab as our base colors. We're just going back over all of the old color there. Oh man, once that wash is dry, just look how awesome the Rune Lord brass looks. It's just so good. Really gives that old metal feel. That's a good thing about, I think one of the good things about the new paint range. People can say what they like, but for a new entry-level or beginning painter, it's really easy to get what you need to do different colors of metal. Like in the old range, it was, you know, you had to, in order to get this kind of brass look, you had to use phone, be quiet. You had to use tin bits mixed with shining gold, and you had to get very exact amount of what was what in your recipe, and it was hard. I remember the first time I used tin bits, I thought, oh, this is too dark. There's no good like brass color. There was dwarf bronze, which was like a very reddish looking shining gold, but there was no good medium color. And now there's so much variety that you could do. It's just really good, really great. And the fact that you could paint Balthazar gold, a gold color right over a black undercoat, I think that is just so awesome, so good. in order to do that before, in order to paint any kind of gold before, I would always base coat with a foundation paint like Calvin Brown or Camry Brown, depending on how bright I wanted the gold to be, and then paint my shining gold on top of it afterwards. And it was a pain. It was a chore because you have to wait for the foundation paint to dry, and it was just, it took a lot of work. All right. Now for the purple, let me show you what I want this little purple strip of cloth to match, this purple banner. And you do it with increasing the highlight, the color of the highlight. So the color that we're going to use is, first we're going to use serious purple, because the purple is serious, bro. That is some serious purple, bro. And then we're leaving the shadows in the folds and just painting what would be hitting the light. This is my favorite part of painting after the wash, when you're building the highlights back up. This is what separates the boys from the men. These highlights. Or ladies from the girls. For the, like, 2 women that watch my channel. And I'm not counting you, Mom. You don't count because you don't collect Warhammers. I know you just watch my channel to make sure I'm not doing drugs. Alright. So now that, look at how rich that makes the purple look. You've got the deep purple from the wash. Oops, some water on my brush. The deep purple from the wash still in the fold. You've got some nice light highlighting with the serious purple. That purple's serious, bro. I'm not kidding, bro. That's some serious purple. And now we're gonna use some Gene Stealer purple just to give it a little bit of a kick. And this, we are definitely only going to be painting right on the very tips, on the edges, to give it that flair. So you can see I'm not really painting that much up at all. Games Workshop, another thing that they did well with the new paint range is they mixed the colors and they made the recipes so close to each other that it really takes all the guesswork out of mixing. Unfortunately, it means you buy more pots, but really, I mean, you don't even need to do the washes if you want to skip a step and you just want to do a nice base coat and a highlight. The shades aren't going to be as deep, the shadows aren't going to be as deep, but you can still get a very nice tabletop quality job done with just a base coat and a highlight. I always like to go the extra step though, because that's, you know, that's how I roll. It's the War Boss way, baby. Alright, so because all of the other vampire counts and everything is in my armies use hawk turquoise, the old color for Verdigris, I'm going to continue using hawk turquoise. But the new color for this little range, Sotek green, works just as well. It's a little bit darker. It's not as lively, vibrant a tone, and but it'll work. The important thing to remember is with both of these paints, they're kind of thick. So even hawk turquoise is almost a base paint rather than a shade, or rather than a layer. So you want to water it down by adding a couple drops of water on your paint palette and then wiping the majority of it off, because we still want brush control, so you don't want to just have like a whole lot of paint on your brush. But basically we're painting onto the rivets first. I like to go front half, back half, back half. And then we find the pitted rust marks of ages past, and paint it inside. And then follow the line down for the barding. The great thing about using your wet palette for this is that it will stay wet and keep the paint from drying out. Oh, that was way too much paint. It's gonna seem kind of bright, but don't worry, it's gonna darken down soon enough. Then on the shield, just follow the lines. You can always build up with no problem. It's a lot harder to fix a mistake when you put too much paint on it. You can always add more. So you see what I've done there with the shield and with the barding? Let's hit the back. So again, we're looking for the breaks in the barding and painting right into the folds. This is such a great model. I'm really glad they redid the old Black Knights for the vampire counts. The old ones were just a little not good. I kind of hope that they redo the shades and the dark riders for the dark elves soon. Kind of like how they redid. I kind of actually hope. You know what? I hope the whole dark elf line gets a reboot, kind of like how they rebooted the Dark Eldar a couple years back. I mean, a whole, change the aesthetic, make the witch elves sexy again, make the, make the models just not look so outlandishly 90s cartoony. Like the old shades, the old Dark Riders, just kind of, they don't look that great, Something else I like to do, because this patina of Verdigris, you can really paint it anywhere you want. I like to keep it focused on like the rivets and the folds in the brass, but you could also paint it over over most of the brass, and it'll look pretty good. So after you're done with that, take your Mephiston red. We're going to start bringing back the brightness to the reins. And just bringing it back up a little bit. I forgot to put some verdigris on the front where the reins are. Yeah, and if your horsey has a little piece of armor for his head, then we take the same principles, paint in the rivets, find the folds in the metal, right over here by the eyepiece. This is really like one of the most fun things to do, the detail work where you're fixing and adding lifelike realism to the piece. So something like that. Okay, and lastly we can add a little bit of this verdigris to the armor itself. And if you have brass details like I like to put on my guys, just so that it's not all, all silver, then this is where you can find the gold and the brass and line it a little bit with some verdigris, where the horns meet the helmet, where the detailing on the shoulder pad meets the torso or the arm piece, stuff like that. And there you go, you have a properly weathered skeleton. There's one more piece we're going to do. We're going to use some Lauren Forest to paint the leaves. If your model has leaves on it. Remember, we darkened the leaves down as well with the Bad at Black, so we're building that nice color right back up. Okay. So because this little piece of verdigris over here is kind of distracting to me, I'm going to take a little bit of my Nuln Oil and I'm just going to paint it into the crease. And this should dull it back down very nicely. Okay, and I'm also going to take, while it's still drying nicely, I'm going to take some, if I can find, is it right here? It's okay. I was going to see if I could paint a little bit of that brass in, but that's alright. That's okay. Let's go on to highlighting the bone and then we'll be just about done with this guy. So, we're going to start coming back with Rack Art Flesh. And for this, I wanted to save this for last because the verdigris was such a visually big part of the model, changing the way it looks and the way it feels. That the bone part now is a little bit more detailed, and you might not get as big of a difference with it. So we're just bringing the color back in the bone. Start with the hooves. You can either go in with a detail brush like I'm doing, or if you want, you can dry brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how both look, and to paint them on, and how the finished product looks, and then I'm going to show a comparison side by side. So this left side we're just painting in with a detail brush. Just want to make sure you cover all the angles. Okay. And let's also do the tail. Okay, now I'm going to get a dry brush to dry brush the other side of the horsey, so you can see what the difference looks like, as well as figure out for you what works best for you. Everybody's different. It's not actually a dry brush, it's just an older brush where the bristles are kind of splayed apart, so it'll give us a good dry brushing effect. Okay, and oh, we didn't do the actual body. Okay, so with the detail brush, now I'm painting the legs and then the foot. The skull face, a really nice realistic looking screaming skull effect. And I'm going to show you how it looks when you dry brush all that stuff on the other side. Start with the arm. Leg. And oh, let's also do the horsey face. There you go. Black Knight, just about done. So thanks for watching, players. If you want, you can highlight the cloth black again, if you want. It's up to you. Kind of like leaving my metal dull and dark so that the brightest highlights come from the bone of the skeleton, as well as, oh, you know what we can do a little bit more of? We can paint up the ivy leaves and stuff a little bit brighter. So the colors I would use are these are the new colors. Alright, 1 minute. Okay, so we're gonna use some, where is it? Oh, I just had it, here we go. Talarn sand to highlight up our little vines a little bit more, make them a little bit brighter. And this is really just because if you look at it right now, the Armageddon steel, or the, what is that? Steel drab that we just painted makes it look a little bit too close to the bronze James. So we're just making it a little bit lighter now. And that's kind of what you want to do with that. It makes it brighter. It's got this Talarn sand has a little bit of a yellowish tint to it, so it gives it a little bit of a kick of color. And I already did this side as my test side, but yeah, just you could see from farther away that, oh yeah, it definitely looks like it's not part of the armor. The last thing you want is for somebody to think like, oh, that's just like fancy gilt, detailing on the armor. No, it's actually live undergrowth clinging to the armor. Alright, and there you have it. We're gonna cut it there because that's really all you need to do for good tabletop quality that anybody could do if you have the colors and if you have a little bit of patience and you're able to do some, good brush control. So I hope you're able to learn a lot from watching this, and hope you had a good time. Thanks for watching this Black Knight tutorial. Stay tuned. I might be doing a Hex Wraith tutorial soon, or I might try and hold off on that until I can get a little bit better idea of how to do it. But thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this one. We'll see you in the next one.